Hey everyone, hopefully I'm live in the right place. It's Marilyn Aloria, and we're going to be talking about your higher self, your first guide. So I will give it a minute, and I'm going to go check my business page to make sure I'm live in the right place. And I'm going to give you some incredible tools and techniques to show you exactly, where am I live? I am live on my business page. It worked. I have a special gift for you guys too. If you put HS in the comments below, you are going to get a special treat, a special treat. So just type HS on the comments below. Let me show you HS. If you type HS in the comments below, you're going to get a special gift. It's a higher self meditation. And hi, Wendy. Hi, Marion. Hi, Carrie. I've got my soul stars on here. So I'm going to talk to you about your higher self, which is your first guide, and how important it is to be in touch with your higher self, especially now during this incredible time that we're in with this pandemic. Hello, Anita. And we're going to talk about 3 ways to get in touch with your higher self. So we have a special gift for you. So if you type in HS, you're going to get that special gift. And it's an incredible meditation to get you in touch with your higher self, which is super important. So how many of you know what a higher self is? How many of you really understand what your higher self is? Or how many of you met your higher self or have been in touch with them? And I'm going to talk to you about, like, I can't tell you how important it is to be in touch with your higher self, and why, especially now more than ever, it is time to start creating your life in co-creation with your higher self. And your higher self is your first guide. So they are your first guide. They are the ones who are already living the life that you're looking to live. They're already in an experience that you're looking to bring into your life. And it's so important that you have an idea of who they are, where they're at, so you can start communicating right away. It's easier to communicate with your higher self than it is to communicate with, like, an archangel or an ascended master. Not always. I'm not going to say for everybody. There's never any hard, fast rules in this work. If there were hard, fast rules in this work, I don't know. Anybody tells you there's hard, fast rules in this work, I'd say run to the hills. So anyway, so your higher self, let's see. Mary's in membership. She said, I did the higher self class on the weekend. Yes. Guy says, my higher self is me. Guy, your higher self has to learn how to work Soul Finder Academy and the Q&As. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Michelle. We got some soul stars on here. Okay. So let me talk to you about this, and then let me give you 3 easy tools that you can use right now to constantly be in touch with your higher self. So I met my higher self. I was working at NBC Olympics, where I got the Emmy. See the Emmy back there? That. So I was working at NBC Olympics, and I knew it was my bridge job. I was getting ready to start another career, and I got in touch with my higher self. I can't remember. I think it was during my dream work. I was doing a lot of dream work, and they introduced me to my higher self. And when I met her, so here I was working at NBC. I was a senior profiles manager. I was wearing suits sometimes. I was in a very unhappy state. I was in a lot of therapy. I was crying every day. I wasn't very happy. I wasn't speaking to my family. I was going through a lot of stuff, but I was also working a lot on myself. And I met her, and she had, like, if anybody knows the Grateful Dead song Scarlet Begonias, rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. She was like that kind of energy. She had rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. She was in a flowy dress. She had long hair. She was very peaceful. She was very light, really energetic, like a way that I was nothing but. She was everything, but I wasn't. And I was like, wow, she was so cool to me. And I liked her, and instantly I just loved her. I just was like, I want to be you. And she really helped me to pursue my dreams, to pursue the career that I really wanted to. She was with me in my lonely moments. She was with me when I was feeling isolated and lost and confused. Even though I was working so hard on myself, you don't yet see the results of your hard work. So you could be in a lot of the hard work where it's like, is anything ever going to change? Is it ever going to change? Is it ever going to change? And she was the one there to remind me that it was changing, that everything that I was doing was definitely bringing me towards my future, towards the dreams that I was looking to create. And we created a dialogue. So I would take her with me and go clothes shopping, and she would show me what to wear. And I'd be like, I'm not going to put that on. And she'd be like, go try it on. And I would have conversations with her like this, but I'd sometimes do this so people didn't know I was talking. And I'd go try the outfit on, and I'd be like, man, damn, that looks good. I would never think to wear that or that color or anything. I would take her to my refrigerator and be like, what do I need to get rid of? And she'd tell me what to get rid of. I'd take her to my closet, and she would tell me what clothes not to wear anymore. She became a really great, beautiful voice in my head, instead of the voices that I was working so hard to get rid of, which were the negative voices, the critical voices, the voices that were filled with pain. And she became the higher voice. She became the voice that dominated my life. And therefore, my life became her life. I started living my life according to her. Now, wherever we are in our life, we're always evolving. And as we're evolving, our higher self is evolving as well. So our higher self may be in a different incarnation in the future of something that we want to obtain. But the thing that I'm teaching people now, especially in Soul Finder Academy, is how not to be in the waiting game. You don't want to be in the waiting game. How many of you in your, hi, Catherine, so nice to see you. How many of you feel like you're in the waiting game of your life? Like you're waiting for more money to come in. You're waiting for that class to be filled. You're waiting until you have the career. You're waiting till you have that great partnership. You're waiting till you have that house by the sea. You don't want to be in the waiting game, because you're in the waiting game. What are you creating? More waiting. It's just constant waiting in your life. It's just happening. So for those of you just joining, if you just put HS in, you're going to get a gift from me, a nice little gift from me. So, hi, Lily. Hi, Anne. Yes, the higher self class is great. So your higher self is actually living the life that you're desiring, a life that you're working towards. So everybody think of something that they want. Let's say in the higher self class, a lot of my members are on here, and there's a specific class in there that works with their higher self 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. So they've got this really, really cool class, Live Your Best Life Yet. Oh, no, it's another class, but you do within your Living Your Best Life Yet. But they have different classes in there on how to work with their higher self. Because like I said, she was my first guide. I didn't know about guides. I knew about angels and stuff because I was Catholic. But she was the one who was telling me, take this acting class. Don't, when NBC wanted me to stay, you don't need to stay. You need to pursue your acting. Go to this audition, go by backstage, go do this, go through that. And by listening to all her guidance, I got to exactly where I wanted to be, which was working as an actress full time, which I was within 4 months. So you want to constantly listen to this guidance. So the thing that I'm trying to teach people now, though, is you have your higher self, right? You have a dream. So how many have a dream right now, a clear dream of what they want a year from now? Does everybody have that? And if you do, I'd love for you to put it in the comments. If you feel comfortable, put it in the comments what your dream is. So most of my students know that I'm working towards my next property, which is going to be a lot of acres, probably some body of water. So I'm not on top of people. I love where I live. I'm very lucky, very blessed. That's not what this is about. This is about the next thing. But I'm not sitting here waiting like, oh my goodness, my life is not going to get better until I have this thing in my life. That's not what I'm doing, because I'm already living a higher self existence. I'm already had dreams come true over and over and over again. And so now I'm just in the next incarnation. Now, maybe the next incarnation is going to be something that I keep for the next 20 years. I don't know. So how many, like Jennifer said, she wants vegan eco travel. Great. So she has an idea of what she wants. What else? Who else? Who else has things that they want? Tell me what they are. Tell me what they are. So, because I want to show you how to get in touch with her. I want to give you 3 trips, or him, or they, or it. Usually your higher self is, there's no hard, fast rules. But normally my higher self is usually older than me, and she's already existing in that time. But I've had people who've had higher selves who were women, and their higher self was a young boy, or their higher self was a wise old man, and they were female, or however you identify, right? So, it doesn't matter. It's an energetically defining, like you feel energetically drawn. So Catherine says, my home on top of the mountain, 300 acres with family. Love that. Beautiful, beautiful. Divine says house move. Laura's checking to make sure it works. Good, Laura. Debbie says move out west. So yeah, so what is it that you want? What is it? My book to be printed, Anne says, so that's great. So we all have something specific. And what your higher self can help you do is to let go. So you're not sitting in the waiting game. You're not just waiting for it to happen and sitting in, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it. I want that, I don't have it. I want that, I don't have it. So you're not doing that. And you're also can let go of results, because what spirit has for you is so much bigger than you can imagine, right? So how could we get any bigger than this? My home on top of the mountain, 300 acres with family. I don't know, maybe it's 600 acres. Maybe she owns her own island. Anything's possible. Stephen Kim says, comfy, cozy, spiritual place near water, mountain, teaching and living my best hippie bohemian life. Very clear, very good. But it could be even bigger. To have my own shop when I learn to open up. Okay. Mary says, increasing clients, creating classes to teach, creating more fun in my life, live my joys list. So there you go. Sandra says, my program to reach the masses, and because of that, I'm mountain biking all over the place with my guy. So these are great, great dreams. They're great dreams. And again, I want to teach you to get out of the waiting game, living in the moment, how to live in the moment with your higher self and make choices in the moment, and then to stop jumping back and forth. I want you to be in the moment. I want you to love what you have in the moment. Be in touch with your higher self as you work towards it. Okay. So for those of you just joining, I'll answer that in a second, Guy. So those of you just joining, put HS in and you're going to get a special gift from me, special gift. So Guy says, is there not a big difference between what you want and what your higher self has lined up for you? So for me, my higher self, what she has lined up for me is pretty much what I want. So it's the same for me. My guides are different than my higher self for me. Now, your higher self could be in that energy, but I differentiate things in order for me to operate. This is like, there's so much to be said on this topic because I teach people you're the instrument, right? So just because this works for me doesn't necessarily mean it works for you, but I'm going to share what works for me. So my higher self is different than my guides. So she may have a more expansive view of where I'm going, but in order for me to make really good choices in the moment to lead me in the direction of where she's at, where I want to be, she stays pretty much in this realm with me. My guides have something much bigger for me. They have no brackets. They go much bigger. So because of that, my higher self and I work with decision making now, and I work with them too, my guides. But I know that with them, they're going to bring in stuff that's even bigger than I can imagine. So I hope that answers it. So my higher self and I, we pretty much are in alignment with what I have, and it's pretty much what I want. But she's already living it. You're time jumping. You're basically time jumping. I don't believe that time is linear. I believe that she's already having this life, that it's a parallel time. There's just a gap between where I am now and where she's at. And the gap, I don't focus on the gap. I focus on where I'm at today, where I want to go, and making decisions and choices in this moment, powerful decisions and choices to bring me there. And I'll tell you what else I focus on with my higher self. When something comes down the pike that is uncomfortable, she's able to tell me what that's about, what that is preparing me for, why that's happening. Did I make a choice that wasn't fully in alignment with my soul? Am I doing a character building moment? There's way too much for me to teach in this short span of time. It's impossible. This is like, members say there's a class in higher self in membership, and they say how great it is because they know there's a lot here. Okay, so what I would say to you right now is, everybody just close your eyes. You're all pretty much telling me a dream you want to have, right? So Terry, you're going to have to put HS in, not HSN. So put in, I don't know where HSN came in. Did Laura do something? But put in HS, not HSN, because you won't get it. So it's HS. I don't know where that came in. So just close your eyes and see what it is you want to create. Just see it. You don't need, and don't tell me you can't see it. You all just told me you had a dream. Just see what you want to create. It may not be super clear. You know, for the person who said she's opening up and wants to own a shop, you know, she's opening up, it's her spiritual gifts. She could still see a store, might have vacancy on the front. So you all see what you want, right? You can all see it. Can you see yourself doing what you want? Can you see yourself doing what you want? So I want you to just take a moment, everybody close their eyes, see the dream that you want to create to come to reality, and see yourself in that moment. See yourself in that moment. Okay, and what you're going to get a meditation that introduces you to your higher self anyway, so you'll get more of this. Notice what she or he is wearing. Notice what they're wearing. Notice what they have on their feet. Notice what clothes they have on. Notice if they have any rings on their fingers. Now take a picture of that, a snapshot of that higher self, of that person, you in that vision, and bring them back to reality now. Bring them back here. Have them stand in a specific place near you. You choose it. Just have them stand in a specific place near you. And then open your eyes. Okay? So what you're going to do, I said I'm going to give you 3 tips. You can connect to her or him every single day by seeing that vision, pulling them into your moment, have them stand in the same place every single time, because that creates communication and intimacy and relationship. And then just start talking to them. Just start talking to them. Whether they give you an answer or not, and they will, you can start with simple things. What should I throw out in my closet? When I teach, when I've taught in-person classes where I've had people go on entire journeys with their higher self, I had them go into their closet and throw stuff out of their closet. I had them go to stores and buy clothing. I had them really take on the existence of the higher self. So it's 3 simple things. Is see the vision, see your higher self, bring them back to reality. You can see what they're wearing, see what's on their feet, get really descriptive, get very visual, bring them back, make them stand in the same place, and then just start talking to them every day. And you will be in touch with your first guide. Now, they will answer, but you have to trust your imagination. You have to allow your imagination to run. So let me see if you have any questions about this. I don't know what this is, Beva. You have to write that question out because I'm not really sure what you're asking me. But do you have any questions about this? Does this seem complicated? It's very easy. It's very easy to do. And what it does is it allows you to stay connected to the time frame continuum, the time continuum of where you want to be. So your higher self is there all the time to say, for those of you just joining, put HS in, I have a gift for you. It's very easy to say, you know, should I go out with Joe Schmo? What do you think? Is this taking me towards my future? Do I need to eat these Fritos right now? Is this going to help me towards my future? Do I need to take that class right now? Will this help me go towards my future? So this is going to help you to make decisions in the moment to go towards the future. Many of you are making choices and decisions from your past. You're making it from difficulty. You're making it from scarcity. You're making it from anxiety. You're making it from, I'm not there yet. Why aren't I there yet? Why am I still in struggle? Why am I still unhappy? Why aren't I doing this? Why aren't I doing that? You can't make choices from that place. You can't create an abundant existence from why not, why can't I, why am I having so much struggle? Some of you I've known for a while, and you're still in this place. And you're choosing to stay in that place, because don't tell me you're not, because we have free will. We have the choices. We can make these choices at all times. So instead, I want you making choices from a future moment, from a moment that's already existing, from a moment of where that person is. Try it right now. Try to make a decision right now. Everybody close their eyes. I don't know where you are, what time it is, but whatever your next meal is going to be, ask your higher self, what should you eat in that meal? I got my answer. What should you eat in that meal? What would be something really good for you right now? What kind of exercise should you do tomorrow? What kind of exercise should I do tomorrow? What in my closet do I need to throw out? I'm getting answers all along. And all of this, these might seem like stupid decisions. They're not. Every choice is empowering you, is aligning you with your higher self, and it's moving you closer to your goal. And you may think like, how does choosing to eat something move me closer to my goal? Or how does choosing what I exercise? Well, what's happening is you're in communication with your higher self, with a higher part of yourself. You're making choices from a higher state. So you're choosing something that's good for your soul. You're choosing something that is bringing you forward. It's not pushing you back. So if you have any questions, ask me. Otherwise, it's going to be a very short Facebook Live. HS if you're just joining. Okay, let me go back. Lisa says, is that why I brought all those dresses? I'm not a dress person, but my higher self sure is. I would say yes. I would say yes. And it could be more than just the dresses, Lisa. It could be about getting back into femininity. You went through some health stuff, right? It could be about getting into a certain type of physical experience in your body. It could be about exercising differently or carrying yourself differently. The way the dress makes you feel may not be exactly about putting on the dress, but when we put on a dress, we feel a certain way. We might identify with feeling a certain way. So it could be about that. Okay. Yeah, so Guy said it, your dress are an expression of your higher self. Yes. Okay, Beva says, trying to imagine my higher self, since rarely I look at myself in the mirror. Difficult to see higher self as look like different. But Beva, you can tell they could be sculpting, they could be doing art. You know, to me, you're putting a lot of restrictions in the way, so you're not going to allow it. So if, you know, anything that I ever teach, and used to be a membership, anything I ever teach, I tell people, just because I say it's the way they look, and if that doesn't work for you, then you use something else. So if it's the home, then you bring the home in. The home can be a higher self. But I don't know why you don't look at yourself in the mirror. I would have to like work with that. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it. But for me, even if I don't really look in the mirror that much either, it's just when I get ready in the morning and stuff like that, I'm certainly not walking by them and noticing. But it doesn't matter. I still have an outline of her. I still know what she feels like. It's not about just physical look. It's a feeling. It's a really good question, by the way. So thank you for writing that. It's a feeling. It's an energy. It's you know, it's great that Beva brought that up. So the location could be a representation of your higher self, because there's a vibration, there's an energy to it. The higher self is a representation of your future dream. And you need to communicate with that in order to make decisions in the moment. I've been talking a lot about living in the moment in Soul Finder Academy, and even a membership for your soul. And we're talking about, like, I never understood, I don't have anything against Eckhart Tolle. I don't know his work very well, but when I tried to read The Power of Now years ago when it first came out, I didn't understand it. And when people are explaining it to me, I've heard about living in the now, and I'd be like trying to force myself in the moment of now. And I'm like, all right, I'm looking at the desk. I'm looking at the desk. But that's not what he's saying. And I had a strange experience with this last night. What he's talking about is something what I'm talking about. I feel, I can't put my words in Eckhart Tolle because I don't know enough about him to really say this. But I'm living in the moment, consciously creating in the moment. And it's not like I'm attached to where I want to go. Like I know that I want property, but I'm not attached to it. It's whatever spirit is best. But I know that I'm making decisions in the moment that are bringing something greater for me. And I'm not disliking my moment. I love my moment. I'm going to go hiking now and be in the moment with the trees and be in the moment with the sky. And it's always about like being in the moment with a greater awareness, a bigger expansion. So I'm not worried about what I have to do. I'm not worried about what I need to do in order to get things done. I'm in the moment creating from this future perspective, but also from being in the moment. I don't know how to describe that. So I happened to see a video of his last night, and he started explaining what I'm trying to explain to you. He was talking to Oprah about it, and it releases stress. It releases anxiety. It releases fear. So how can I describe this? I think you guys are getting it. For me, I'm not making decisions from past experiences. I'm hopefully most of the time not making decisions from ego. I'm making decisions and choices from a place of space, from a place of possibility, from a place of solution and abundance, more abundance, from a place of spirit, from a place of connection. So it's a much different experience. So I can be in this moment, drinking my water, looking at the trees, talking to you guys, and I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not worried about anything because I know all of this is creating something greater than this moment, which is already great. So I don't know how to describe that, but I know that getting in touch with your higher self is going to move you out of scarcity, out of anxiety, out of fear, out of lack. That a lot of you, not everybody, but a lot of you are making decisions from scarcity, fear, anxiety, and lack. You can't possibly move forward with flow, being aligned with your soul consistently if you're making decisions from scarcity, lack, fear, and anxiety. You can, if you're aligned with your soul, you're in flow, and you're making decisions from that place. And aligning with my soul is my higher self. Like it's all existing, right? Time doesn't exist, but we think in a weird way. So I'm trying to get everybody to think. It's almost like I'm trying to get you to think linear in order to not think linear. So I hope I'm going to look at your questions to see if it makes sense. For those of you just joining, put in HS. This is going into a much deeper conversation than I thought it would. But that's not surprising. I just came off of a Q&A with SFA. So Carrie says, like this practice, feels like a relationship, someone to walk and talk with constantly, Carrie. If you walk and talk with your higher self and constantly making decisions with your higher self, you're going to get information, inspiration. You're going to get solutions you didn't even think of because you're like in freedom. You're in space. You're in energy and vibration. All right. HS. Maurice. Hi, Maurice. Hi, Marilyn. This is where I was confused. I was asking my guides for this info. It would have been better to let the guides handle the big picture and work with the higher self first. Is this true? I was making it too complicated. For me personally, Maurice, my higher self was my first guide. So I was asking my guides, says it would have been better to let the guides handle the big picture and work with the higher self first. Yes. So I'm going to say yes. Yes. So my higher self my guides are always handling the bigger picture. I'm in constant communication with my guides, but in the very, very beginning, when I first started doing this work, I didn't even know they existed. So it was my higher self. And it was a much easier relationship to create, communicate, and understand. It's probably why I got to communicate so fast with my guides, because I'd already played with my higher self so much. And she's just a representation of me at a different time. And I was able to pull her in the moment and talk with her and feel her and reflect with her that by the time they presented themselves, I was all on board because I'd already been in communication. So yes, I agree with that, Maurice. Great question. I love this. I love this. This is perfect, Carmen. Now, I would want you, Carmen's in my programs, to ask this geisha lady what she thinks about the question we were just answering over in Soul Finder. Ask her what she thinks about that, about all of that. So I'd be very interested in hearing what she'd have to say. So that's great. Okay. My higher self said to get rid of gray clothes, only brighter colors going forward. That is really, really great. Love this. So that's great. Okay. So I'm going to end soon, but I'm going to take a couple more questions. So remember, put HS, and we're going to give you a meditation on how to communicate with your higher self. Mary Miller. Love it. Being empowered in membership. Love, love, love. Beva, I really am gonna call you out on stuff just because I've known you for years. I feel like you're complicating things a bit, sweetie. So I really would say get this meditation, listen to it, and really work with her for like a week, or the energy of that higher self energy, and really just communicate. For those of you who struggle, who's talk to your guides, you know, I do this in member. Just talk to this one. That's it. Let everybody else go. When people like tell me they can't hear their guides, and I start working with them, I'm like, number one, they're talking to a collective energy. They don't even know who their guide is. I'm like, you have no clue what you're talking to. You're pulling in all sorts of energy. Number two, I'm always like, just pick someone, just pick one. And number three would be a higher self. Like I would say, just pick your higher self. It's like what Maurice said. You can get, and you said you can't see her, but you could probably get a color. You could probably get an image, a vibration, and work with them. Tell your higher self, stand right here, and that's it, and just talk. Okay. Cindy, I'm not answering reading questions. I'm talking about my higher self. So you may have just joined later on, but I'm not doing readings right now. This is a great question, Guy. Talking about clothes, I wonder how many are fully cool being naked, and I imagine they all are. I imagine they all are. The reason why we do clothes is we did this in dream work. It helped us to get in touch with a feeling. It's like what Lisa was talking about dresses, why my higher self had me buy dresses, but maybe she doesn't necessarily want to put the dresses on, but the dresses have representation to us. It's like what I'm teaching all of you guys, especially in membership, for your soul. We talk about, like I tell you, my guides don't speak to me in words. They speak to me in vibration, right? But I interpret it in words. And I've been doing that since I've been talking to them for 14 years. So if I see a visual symbol, I'll get a whole thing about it. But they're really speaking in energy to me, but I'm interpreting it. And then I was listening years later, after I've been doing this for years, right? Of course, Abraham Hicks has been doing it for years too. But I never knew how Esther worked. And I listened to a video about how Esther works, and she describes it the same way. And I went, oh my goodness, it was such confirmation for me. So the clothing thing for me is an identity. It's the way to identify. But somebody like the star card, such a cool card, she's naked, you know, naked is great. So I think that's great. So Linda, this is great. Linda says, getting my house ready to sell, cleaning windows. You would want to talk to your higher self about this. What do we need to do? What energy we need to bring into this house? What do we need to look for? Your higher self's already living in the next location, right? Pull that higher self in and start working with them. It'd be really great. Other times she's angelic. I feel very to show me interesting things like a gentleman my dad knew. Actually convert. My higher self is the most intimate of our guides. That's great, Sandra. So Sandra says her higher self is the most intimate of her guides, which is great. Okay, I'm going to see if there's any questions. Good for you, Catherine. Good, good, good. I just want to see if anybody has questions. I connect to my higher self every morning before I start my day. Beautiful. This is great, Terry. So I just want to see if there's any questions. Linda, I talk to myself constantly. The mask thing, you know, has been helpful because I'm not getting into political conversations or discussions around whether to wear a mask or not. Do not do that on this. I will delete your comments. But for me personally, we have to wear them in certain stores and everything. And when I wear it, I can speak to myself and nobody sees. And I'm like, that's great. But I've gotten really, really good at talking to my guides without moving my lips. It goes like this. I don't really move my lips and I'm talking all the time and they don't know. And nobody's really knowing and I'm talking. Hopefully you heard that. So I've learned how to do it. Now, if I could throw my voice, I could be a ventriloquist. It'd be really great. Love you saying making decisions out of possibilities. I get it now. My higher self has been guiding me and now I can connect even stronger. Great. I'm glad, Jerry. It is so super important to me. One of the biggest things for me when I met my higher self was the possibilities. She showed me possibilities. She helped me to believe in myself. She helped me to believe in, I was in a period of my life where I was working so hard on myself. I was in group therapy. I was in therapy. I was in acting classes. I was working full time. I was doing so much therapeutic work on myself, reading self-help books, doing everything because I was in such a moment of crisis in my life. And she showed me possibility. And if I didn't have that type of work, like learning that work saved my life, which is why I teach it so much, because when you're in that dark place and you don't see possibility, and then you can use your imagination and see a possibility. And let me tell you something, imagination is where your guides live. That's where all the information is. That's where connection to source is for me. Our souls are creative. Imagination is where it's at because that allows us to think out of the box. And then it shows you the possibility of what can come in. And all of a sudden your focus changes. Like you're no longer focused. That bill comes in and you weren't expecting it. And having your higher self there be like, all right, so what do you think? How, about this bill? Oh, you've gotten bills that you didn't expect before and you paid them. You'll pay this one. Like it takes us out of that such tense, anxious moment and brings us into solution, which is so important, which is great. All right. Lily says Americans Got Talent next. Yes, I'm going to go in there and do that, Lily. That's hysterical. Thank you for that. Okay. Great. Okay. I wear headphones in my phone. Where you guys love the mask. No worries if I have something stuck on my teeth. Yeah. Wendy says, I hear what I call my little voice. Who or what is that? Guide or higher self? Wendy, this is such a good question. I personally wouldn't know, to tell you the truth. It could be your higher self. It depends. And this is why I'm such a stickler about knowing who it is you're talking to. So there's a way to ask the energy, are you a guide? And are you a guide from my highest light and highest alignment with myself? And if they are, it's been my experience, they'll answer yes. And if they're not, they'll say no. And if they're not from your highest alignment and highest alignment with yourself, they usually have to go. But then you could say, are you my higher self and highest alignment with myself and from the highest light? And if they say yes, and it's your higher self, they say no, then that voice, you could be tapping into something that may not be the best energy for you. I'm not putting fear out there. I don't believe in that I believe in free will. It's too big of a conversation to have right now. But what I would like you to say is, I'd like you to ask it. I'd like you to ask it what it is, because I have different people I know, and they're always like, I'm asking my guides. I'm talking to my guides. And I'm like, who are your guides? And I'm like, I don't know, the fairies, the gnomes, the whoever's. And I'm like, I would never take information from something I didn't have an intimate relationship with. And I build that intimate relationship with that particular guide or my higher self, and then I take information from them. Now, I've had my guides for a really, really long time, for almost 14 years. So I have such an intimate relationship with them, But I worked on building that relationship first before I fully trusted them. We had to trust each other. And in my higher self, I trusted right away because I could feel her. I knew her, and I could tell. So, and then there's other people I know. John Burgos and I got into this conversation once because he's like, I don't know my guides specifically, but he knows their energy. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't bother me with you because I know that you're taking direction from your guides because the vibration, the vibration's high enough. But people who are just telling me they're speaking to their guides and they don't know who they are, that makes me very, very nervous. Okay. Okay. It advises me of important things I need to think about, not sinister. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's sinister, honey. The more you get to know it, the better you're going to get better information and a stronger relationship even. So I didn't feel it was sinister at all. I feel like it might be part of your higher self, but I'd like you to get to know it. I'd really like you, but that might not be your thing. That might not be your thing. So that's okay. And that's okay too. I know you're like, Marilyn, you're contradicting yourself. The only reason why I'm saying it's okay is because I believe that everybody's got to work with what works for them. All right, put in HS and you'll get the free gift. And I hope that helped. I hope that didn't confuse you, Wendy. If it did, let me know. So sorry, sweetie. Hello from Washington, Tammy. Yeah, so Mary says, the more you practice, no, I don't even have this number. Should we all answer the telemarketing call? The more you practice connecting, the easier it gets. It helps moving into your heart and body and get out of my head. Trust and allow the connection. I love that. That's great. Okay. Bevy, you wrote me something really long, so I'm going to try to read it real quick. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to. When I've gotten a glimpse of some, I've waited to create painting or picture like collage, or if I search Google various images to class secular face, so does that? Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. As long as it feels okay. Wendy, thank you. Okay, good. I just want to make sure I didn't confuse you, Wendy. Okay. So yes, just watch from the beginning if you're just joining and type in HS. And Cindy, try typing it in by itself just to make sure you get it. And let me just see, did I miss a question? Lisa's answering someone. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm not missing any things. All right. Okay. I think that's it. So basically what I said about your higher self is that's your first guide. I would pay attention to the first thing that I said in this. I'm not going to summarize the whole thing. Also put HS in and you're going to get a nice meditation with your higher self. The thing you want to do is, you can all do this real quick. It's a summary. Think of something you really desire. Close your eyes, see it. Notice the you that's having that thing that you desire. So say it's a new property, a new location, like Catherine wants a house on the beach, 300 acres. She can see herself in that house. Notice what they're wearing. That's your higher self. That's a quick way of getting to your higher self. Pull that higher self into your reality today. Have them stand in one place. You pick where they stand. Always have them stand in that location. It's too long of a conversation for me to explain, but it helps create intimate relationship. And then talk to them every day. Talk to them about what to eat, what to wear, where to go. And you will continue to have a relationship with your higher self. And we will be continuing. Thanks, Mary. She says, for those in membership, I recommend the higher self class. Thank you. She's talking about Mary's part of membership for your soul. And it's really, really good. So we are going to be talking, I believe it's under guides. It's under guides, the guides lesson. So if you go into there and you go into the guides lessons, oh, Guy, I don't know what to do with you with the technical stuff. I really don't. We are trying. So go into the lessons and you will find the higher self lesson. So you have to explore a little bit, but if you look at the fourth thing, it's under guide communication and you will find the higher self lesson. Okay, I'm going to try to show it to you real quick. But for those of you just joining, put HS in. I was a little off today, but we're going to be talking more about this in, I'm going to show you, Guy. In the coming months, I'm going to be showing, in the coming weeks, we're going to be talking more about guides and all that kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to do something because my little Guy gets confused. Okay, entire screen share, but I can't do it, Dee. It's not letting me do it. So I can't share it. Sorry. But if you go into membership and you go into membership lessons and you're going to go into guide communication, I'm pretty sure it's there. So I can't do it right now. But go into membership and tag me in the Facebook page and we will show you where it is. My computer's being very, very slow. So, all right, guys, put in HS. And did Lisa answer the question? Guy had issues too. Lisa had issues too. Yeah, but Lisa, you've gotten to the membership, the members lessons. Anyway, it's totally fine. Yeah, take Laura's class, helping to navigate the site. I need to do that one next. So Laura's, there's a video in there about how to navigate the site. Sorry, for those of you who aren't in Membership for Your Soul, we're having a little Membership for Your Soul moment right now. We're trying to help a member find a class. Oh, we'll find it. We'll find it. So, Guy, just tag us in Facebook in the membership page and we'll help you find it. All right, guys. For those of you who are just joining, and I'm going to hang up now, though, but go put HS in and you're going to get a higher self meditation. And I will, hold on. Yeah, I will be talking to you next week. We're going to be doing more on guides. So I would tell you to tap your calendar for 3 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays. We're also going to be doing an incredible journey in a Facebook group. And we'll be telling you more about that soon, too. It's going to be really, really great. All right, guys. I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Bye.